the women's 400 freestyle in the S12 classification. As you can see, there are two S11 swimmers also swimming up in this final. Emily Teller is the first of the three German swimmers in this final. Daniela Schulte, one of the S11 swimmers and the world record holder in that class. She goes in lane 2. Naomi Mikey Schnittger, well, she is the European gold medalist from 2011. Hannah Russell goes in lane number 4. Next to her, great rival, Daria Stukalova of Russia. Maria Delgado Nadal goes in 6 for Spain. Next to her teammate, Carla Casals and Martina Rabolini. The second S11 swimmer with no vision, goes in lane number 8. The women's 400 freestyle S12 final.
Well, expect this race to be dominated by Hannah Russell of Great Britain in lane number 4 and Daria Stukalova of Russia in lane number 5. Stukalova taking the early lead, but also going well. Schnittger of Germany in the orange hat in lane number 3, just on the outside of Hannah Russell. They'll go round the wall together. I'll see it now. And Hannah Russell, well, that was a very, very good turn from her. Got half a body length out of the other two competitors. Got that pretty much for free. They'll now have to work to come up against her and use up more energy. Hannah Russell done a lot of work, Paul, to even out that head position. It used to move around a lot, and she's much, much steadier with it now.
She is. I remember her swimming in the final of the Paralympic Games in London. A real choppy stroke, and she just fought her way to a silver medal behind Oksana Savchenko on that occasion. But it was very marked in the closing stages that the smooth stroke of the Russian was going to prevail over the real choppy, untidy stroke of Hannah Russell. And I think that race, more than any other, really brought it home to Hannah Russell. She's got to sort out her technique, and if she does that, she could be right on top here in the 400 freestyle. Absolutely.
Well, you can see how quickly Hannah Russell's arms are having to go round to keep pace with Stukalova, one lane closer to us. Hannah Russell, you have to say, better round the wall than Stukalova, but Stukalova looking very smooth. That's Hannah Russell. Head still not exactly true when it comes to breathing. Stukalova has a slight wallop to her freestyle stroke, but it's got a much more workmanlike feel to it. The elbows come over nice and high, the hands pierce the water, one hand really swapping from one to the other. Hannah Russell's hands, much more scrappy. But again, Stukalova takes it away from Hannah Russell on the length, but Hannah Russell takes it all back again on the turn and still in contention. Naomi Schnittger of Germany in the orange hat in lane number 3. Moving up a bit now, Paul.
Well, Naomi Schnittger is the reigning champion in this one. She hasn't really shown the European Championship winning form. She won that title in 2011. She hasn't shown anything like the form that she had on that day to win in her home country. The championships were in Berlin, but Naomi Schnittger looks intent here to try and regain that title, and the German swimmer swimming extremely well here. Schnittger, she held on to the coattails of the two ahead of her, and has come up to the 300 mark. It could be the German with the lead. Hannah Russell now trying to stay on terms with the two on either side of her. This is a really good contest as they come to the 300 mark. Interesting to see if Hannah Russell can gain ground again on the turn. Schnittger and Stukalova absolutely together. Russell did come back on that turn.
She certainly did, but it was Stukalova who really turned the pressure on the push-off out of the wall, and these three ladies go down the walk together. Hannah Russell starting to tie up a bit, and that head is starting to move around, and she's paying for it with every stroke. Snitcher looking very, very strong. You got to wonder, Paul, is Stukalova ready to just open up on this final 50? Can Hannah Russell put in a good turn to put her back in contention? Yes, she can. And this is it now as they fight on the final 50 on the way back on this 400 freestyle. But it's Stukalova who is taking it to the wall.
Stukalova now opening up a gap over Hannah Russell. This has been a fantastic contest in the 400 freestyle, but Stukalova has the power in the closing stages. The sprinter, the champion at 100, the champion at 200, now the champion in the 400 freestyle. It is goal to Stukalova of Russia. Hannah Russell in second position, and what a swim from Naomi Majka-Schnitger. Well, she finishes in third. The European champion tried everything she could to try and get back on terms, but she couldn't quite make it. So it's bronze medal for Schnitger, silver for Russell. There they are together. Stukalova, though, was strong in the closing stages.
Well, it was really commanding stuff. In the end, it wasn't actually a very quick race, but a very much a tactical, almost a game of chess. Stukalova played it absolutely fantastically, just let the other two swim along with her and held back and held back and held back. And then when it came to the final 50, well, she's got quite a lot more strength, I think, Paul. There we go, the emotion coming out now. She really put her heart and soul into that.
I think she did. She'll be aware of Hannah Russell next year. These swimmers will have enough sight to see the swimmer, to sense the swimmers next door to them in the lane. She wouldn't have been aware that Naomi Majka-Schnitger was ahead of Hannah Russell for long periods of that 400 freestyle, so it was a dangerous game. Stukalova played, but she had the strength. She was really strong in the last 50. Hannah Russell, another silver medal this week. She's had some good performances, Hannah Russell. Stukalova, though, these two, Russell and Stukalova, well, been rivals for a long time. Look at Schnitger there. She led going into the final turn.
Well, and Hannah Russell just absolutely destroys her and puts herself back on terms. Stukalova got so much more strength at her disposal over the other two. Hannah Russell, slight glide in on the finish. It wasn't close enough for her to be in contention if she'd have got it right. And there we go. That's absolutely spot on. Difficult for S12 swimmers because of their sight to really get the finish right, but she managed to do that. And 5 gold medals, I think, from this European Championship she's got, Paul.
She has had an excellent championship. Daria Stukalova on top of the medal podium again. It was a great contest. Stukalova taking the gold, Hannah Russell the silver, and Naomi Majka-Schnitger the bronze.